Hello, dreamers! So I've got a big update for the wet stuff. It's mostly Cesare Marinaro, the mage, and Ondelg, the Diogenai. It's not Ondelg himself so much. He does have something that deals water damage, but he's not like major water themed. But I've tweaked the decks. Let's see what I've done. So in here, so we've got with Ondelg, obviously. I've updated, I've made his basic attack a little bit weaker. I've increased his fire vulnerability, and I've given him a water thing to add water tokens, which is to be more cohesive with the rest of the deck, with some pretty big changes. After thinking about what water tokens actually do, I finally settled on having them do nothing, and having cards respond to how many water tokens are on a card. If a card with water tokens on it takes ice damage, then those water tokens turn into freeze tokens. If something with freeze tokens is hit with fire damage, those freeze tokens become water tokens, and if something with tokens is hit with fire damage, those water tokens are removed. Pretty straightforward and intuitive, I'd like to think, so it's not that complicated, really. So water doesn't do anything else on its own, but it's the cards that have effects, that's the point. Feed has been changed to just reduce the quality, the types of creatures affected. It's a much more broad card now. Grounded Lop, the update here is just basically putting the wet token, the actual artwork, which is fairly new. That's just an improvement. The Natatop, same thing, putting in the artwork. Web-poured Squirrel, a little bit of changes here, I think. Yeah, so, but again, mostly just putting in the new token artwork. So that's the changes to the cards already in that aren't being removed or anything. On the magic side of things, Cesare Marinaio is he's got pretty much the same as before. He just works off of wet tokens, water tokens, and again more artwork, chit artwork. Blue Daystone, because I've changed the way it's worked, blah blah blah. Conspuo can reduce fire attacks, but is basically just a simple water spell. Form Water, there's a new thing here where you can pay one to add two wet water tokens to the damaged card. Hydro Shot, something similar. You can reduce the cost of this card if there are two more water tokens in play. Light Splash, distribute water tokens, pretty straightforward. Sprinkler Orb puts one token on all cards in play. It used to be to one card per turn, but that was extremely weak. Thor. So Thor I'm a little bit worried about because it's still very specific to certain things, but there is some versatility within the card itself. If 5 or more ice tokens are replaced this way, you may draw a card, so it replaces ice tokens with water tokens as though it was hit by a fire attack. You can play this card as a reaction to make an ice attack deal -2 damage. Mind the dogs. Transitory Bubble. Reduce damage of all attacks by -2. It's an enchantment. No, it's not. It's a reaction card. And if it's a fire or physical attack, parry it instead. Water Bomb has changed. That's just that's a card's token upgrade art again. Water Pellet, again, it's the token art that changed. Water Wave, token art that changed. Sorcerous Bubbles changed. Yeah, -2 damage from all other sources. Damp Demise, this is a massive buff. Kind of worried about how this is going to work out, but basically target water attack deals a +1 damage for every wet water token in play. So if there are 10 in play, that's 10 extra damage for two resource tokens, but getting 10 in play is pretty tricky, considering you lose one water token from every card at the start of each turn. So we'll see how it goes. Dry Out, remove all water tokens from target card and gain a resource token for every 2 water tokens removed this way, so that could be interesting. Fluid Surge, This has been changed. Again, this is just adding the token art. Splashback, again, we're adding the token art. And that's all the adjustments to cards. Now, card removals. Spontaneous Combustion, Antler Clash, Temper Blossom, Acro Rat, Pronk, Metamorphosis, and Wildfire. These are all being removed because they are basically hangovers from the previous design of the second edition. It was going to feature Bonoservis instead of Ondelg, although Ondelg is an elk, to be fair, and Bonoservis is a deer, for the little difference that makes. They're both cervids anyway. But I wanted to make the theme more together, and the way it was working before is there really was no like cohesiveness within the deck itself. So removing these cards to replace them is the way to go. What I've replaced those with, I've replaced Wildfire with Vortex, so it's a water-based instead of a fire-based thingamajig. Force of Nature. Water tokens are not removed at the end of a player's turns, so things can get flooded. At the start of your turn, you may redistribute up to 2 water tokens among the cards in play, then stun every card with 3 or more water tokens on them. Then deal 1 damage to each card for every stun token on it. That's pretty interesting. It costs a fair bit to play. 6 resource tokens, not too bad. It could end up being strong, but there's plenty of time to play test it, so it's going to be fun. Tendril Whip. So this is a plant one. Yeah, you may play this card when you plant you control is targeted by an attack, parry target attack, and stun either the attacking card or the enemy champion. So this is when I kind of realized that there aren't a lot of cast or reaction cards in the game yet that work off of plant cards. There's 10 that work with creatures, champions, but plants are not so much, so I'm going in that direction a bit more. Lieutenant Otter, some Mustelid, reaction, you may use this ability whenever there are 5 or more water tokens in play. Return this card to your hand. So if there's a lot of water tokens in play, you can pretty much have this guy go in and out of combat without dying. And that's a reaction as well, so you can do that even when he's being attacked, and it would kill him. If you've got enough water tokens in play. It does cost you resource tokens, but if you're playing it right, you should have plenty of them. Citrus Flower. So this is just another plant. Photosynthesis X. Add 1 token to your resource pool for every 3 HP this card has at the start of your turn. So it's a bit of a twist on the photosynthesis here. Pay 1. You may use this ability if you have a wet token on a card you control. Remove a wet token from a card you control to heal this card for 3 HP. Overheal, this card can heal past its maximum HP. So as long as basically it gets watered. That's basically the concept here. And so it's a 1 HP flower that can grow. You're going to want to protect this one. The River King. This is essentially a Magikarp equivalent if you're familiar with Pokemon. It comes into play and slaps someone, doing 2 stun tokens and 2 water tokens. And then it's slow, so it can't use its ability. And when it does use its ability, you destroy it and heal your champion or a creature for 3 HP. Which basically means you eat it. Like, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of fun. It's a comical card, really, but I like it. We'll see how it goes. Longroot Blossoms. At the start of your turn, add wet token to any card in play. So, yeah, this brings wet tokens into play just passively, otherwise it's just a plant basically. And Precipitation, put 2 tokens on every card in play, 2 water tokens. So pretty straightforward. 3 resource tokens for it, because obviously there's a lot of things you can do with it, and if you've got Vortex in play already, this is going to be absolutely devastating. So we'll have to see how it goes. It should be fun. And the magic changes, the water magic deck. So I got rid of Call Flame, Accelerate, which is a fire card, Melting Point, Pyro Shot, and Small Blaze. Something you might see in common with all those cards is they are fire-based. Why would you have fire cards in a water deck, basically, is the question. That's because previously I had Inquisitor Octus as as a champion for the second edition, but because I wanted to change everything to match the theme of the books, when the books come out, Octus is going to be pushed into a later edition of the game, and it's being replaced with Chazari instead, who is over here, the water dude. So I'm replacing those 5 cards with these. Boil. So this is actually technically a fire card, but it's fire and water. Deal 2 fire damage to a target card for every water token on it. Ebb. Stun all cards in play with 1 or more water tokens on them. Pretty straightforward. Pretty cheap to do as well. Slip. I'm going to play this card when a card you control is targeted by an attack. Parry target attack. Cost of this card, it costs 1 less to play for every 2 water tokens in play. So if it's wet, they slip in a puddle. Kind of that's the concept. Flow. Redistribute all water tokens in play as you see fit. That could be interesting, as you can tell. Torrential Coil. Only 2 resource tokens to play this one. It's a reaction. When we play this card when a champion is targeted by an attack, move up to 5 tokens to move up to 5 water tokens to the targeted champion from any other cards in play. Then reduce the damage that champion receives by -1 from all sources for each water token on it for the rest of the turn. So yeah, it draws water to your champion in order to block with it. So again, it's redistributing water tokens. So that's kind of like the idea of the new stuff. Right, and one more thing. So if you're interested in getting in on the Kickstarter, or you want, updates on the game, I'm also giving away free copies of the game to newsletter subscribers every month. So if you're interested in that, jump into the on the description below. There's a link to my newsletter. You can join up. There's also my link tree with all my other socials and things like that. It's a bit bare bones because I just switched provider to get away from Wix. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, thank you very much and have a good day.